The galaxy had always been a place of order and balance. Every race, every species, had their place in the grand scheme of things. Earth, a small, seemingly insignificant planet, was often overlooked. It wasn't known for its military might or its advanced technology. The other alien races had long dismissed humanity as a relic of the past. No threat, no power to challenge the galaxy's many mighty empires. But things were about to change. It started with whispers. The first few rumors were dismissed as nonsense. Talk of a new kind of ship, a massive weapon being built on Earth. No one took them seriously. Earth's military had always been underdeveloped compared to the rest of the galaxy. But the rumors wouldn't go away. Soon, alien intelligence agencies reported strange energy signatures coming from Earth. Large, unpredictable bursts of power, far beyond anything the humans had ever been able to produce before. The galaxy's leaders exchanged uneasy glances. No one knew what Earth was up to, but the signals were undeniable. The ships being built were not normal. They were huge, their power unimaginable. The few spies sent to Earth returned with disturbing news. The humans had begun construction on something far more dangerous than anyone had anticipated. In the heart of Earth's government, debates rage. Most human leaders knew that if they were ever to challenge the galaxy's powers, they needed to act fast. It had been centuries since Earth had been part of the galactic wars. But now it seemed the time had come. They needed a weapon, something that would make the galaxy sit up and take notice. The day the first battleship emerged from Earth's hidden docks, the galaxy trembled. Its size was unimaginable. It was a ship unlike anything anyone had seen before, a fusion of ancient Earth designs and advanced technologies. The moment it appeared in orbit around Earth, every sensor in the galaxy lit up. Alien fleets, some of the most powerful in the galaxy, felt a strange, ominous chill run through their ranks. Across the galaxy, the political leaders scrambled for answers. The ships of the galaxy were advanced, powerful, but nothing like what had just appeared from Earth. What was this ship capable of? Was it a weapon of mass destruction, or was it something far more dangerous? No one knew. The humans were silent, revealing nothing about their new creation. There were no declarations of war, no threats, just an eerie calm. The few who had seen the battleship up close whispered in awe about the incredible technology it displayed. Its armor was unbreakable, its weapons unlike any seen before, and its engines were far faster than anything the galaxy had ever produced. Some alien races, who had long dismissed Earth as nothing more than a primitive world, began to reconsider. The implications of this new weapon were terrifying. In the Galactic Council, panic began to spread. The galaxy had always prided itself on its unity and strength, yet now, in the face of this unknown force, many began to fear the worst. Was Earth preparing for war? Were they about to rise up and take back their place among the stars? No one could be sure, but one thing was certain. The galaxy would never be the same again. The next few weeks were filled with tension and uncertainty. Alien fleets were placed on high alert, watching Earth's every move. The fear of what might come next loomed over the galaxy like a dark cloud. Some races, still skeptical, dismissed the battleship as a mere show of strength, but others knew better. No one had ever seen anything like it before. Earth was no longer the underdog. It was a force to be reckoned with. But it wasn't just the alien governments that were shaken. Earth's leaders, too, faced their own fear. They had built this ship, this weapon, to protect their world, but now they wondered if they had gone too far. Was this the right path for humanity? Could they control the power they had unleashed? Deep down, they knew the galaxy would never just let them keep such a weapon in peace. And so the question remained. Would Earth be able to hold onto its newfound power, or would the galaxy's forces come knocking at their door? As the days passed, the fear across the galaxy grew. Leaders, warriors, and diplomats from every corner of the galaxy began to whisper in hushed tones about the human battleship. They feared what it meant for the future, and they feared what it could do. The galaxy, so used to its dominance, was now facing a reality it hadn't prepared for. Earth, once considered weak and insignificant, had created a weapon that could change everything. And no one knew what would happen next. The galaxy was on edge. Everyone waited, unsure of when, or if, Earth would take its first step towards war. But one thing was clear. The moment the human battleship emerged, the galaxy was never going to be the same again. You said. The first clash came faster than anyone expected. The galaxy had been on edge ever since the Earth battleship made its appearance. Most alien factions had hoped it was just a show of strength, a one-time demonstration of power. But the truth was far worse than they could have imagined. Earth wasn't just showing off. They were preparing for something much bigger. The rest of the galaxy, however, still felt confident. After all, Earth had only one ship, and the combined fleets of the galaxy outnumbered them by thousands. Surely, they thought, a single ship couldn't pose a threat to them. But the first engagement shattered that illusion. It started with a minor dispute between two small factions near Earth's border. When the humans offered their assistance in keeping the peace, the galaxy's powers looked on with suspicion. Many saw it as a move to assert dominance, and they couldn't afford to let Earth push its boundaries. Without any formal warning, the galaxy's military fleets decided to make a preemptive strike against Earth's ships. They believed it was the only way to teach humanity a lesson before things escalated further. The battle began as expected. The fleets of alien ships moved towards Earth's space, ready to attack. But as they approached, something caught their attention. Earth's battleship. The ship, which had been stationed in Earth's orbit for months without incident, suddenly powered up with an intensity that made the surrounding space vibrate. For a moment, there was silence. And then, without warning, Earth's battleship fired. The first blast hit the lead alien ship with terrifying precision. The ship's shields flared up, but they couldn't hold the intensity of the blast. It disintegrated within seconds, debris scattering across space. A second ship, then a third, followed the same fate. The alien fleets were in shock. They had underestimated humanity in the most costly way possible. The battle was chaos. Alien ships scrambled to return fire. But Earth's battleship was faster and more deadly than anything they had imagined. Its advanced weapons tore through the alien fleet with ease. The humans had used their time wisely. Their ship was equipped with weapons that could disable enemy shields in an instant and fire weapons capable of piercing through the most reinforced armor. As the alien forces struggled to retaliate, it became clear Earth's ship wasn't just another weapon. It was a new kind of power, one that could wipe out fleets without breaking a sweat. The Galactic forces, which had long prided themselves on their military superiority, were suddenly looking at a terrifying new reality. They were losing. Fast. On Earth, news of the battle spread like wildfire. The government remained eerily calm, but the people knew their world had changed forever. They were no longer the underdogs. They had proven their strength in a way the galaxy could not ignore. But that victory came at a cost. For the first time, the galaxy saw humanity as a real threat, and their actions in the coming days would determine whether Earth would ever be allowed to live in peace again. Back in the Galactic Council, chaos reigned. Leaders of the most powerful alien races began to call emergency meetings. How could this happen? How could a single ship, one they thought was just a curiosity, bring their forces to their knees so quickly? Some demanded immediate retaliation, while others proposed a more cautious approach. But the truth was, no one had any clear answers. The first battle had ended, but the war was just beginning. As the alien fleets regrouped, they knew they had to come up with a plan, a strategy that could deal with this new threat. The galaxy's military leaders were scrambling to figure out how to counter Earth's overwhelming power, but the truth was, no one knew how to fight what they couldn't fully understand. Earth's battleship was a mystery, and that mystery was what scared them the most. The galaxy had always believed it was the pinnacle of power, But now, with a single human ship shaking the very foundations of their dominance, they were faced with the cold, hard reality. Humanity wasn't weak anymore. The galaxy's reign was in danger. And Earth. Earth was just getting started. The battleship's appearance was only the beginning. The galaxy was on the brink of panic. After Earth's unexpected and devastating victory, there was no longer any doubt. Humanity was not a small, insignificant race. The battleship, which had once been viewed as a mere curiosity, had become the symbol of Earth's new power. The galaxy's leaders were scrambling to develop a plan, but no one could agree on how to proceed. Fear spread like wildfire as every species, large and small, tried to prepare for the unknown future ahead. In the days following the battle, Earth remained strangely silent. No further attacks came, and the ship stayed in orbit, almost like a watchful guardian. The calm was unsettling. No one knew what humanity would do next. Some alien leaders believed Earth had struck their blow and would now retreat into isolation. Others feared that the humans were only waiting for the right moment to strike again, but this time with an even larger force. The Galactic Council convened in a desperate attempt to find a solution. The question on everyone's mind was the same. How could they stop Earth? The other empires had faced wars before, but never against a race that had so quickly demonstrated such overwhelming power. Even their most advanced fleets that had defeated entire worlds in the past, had been powerless against Earth's battleship. If this was just the beginning, then the galaxy was in serious trouble. While the Council debated, the first signs of retaliation from Earth began to surface. Instead of sending out fleets or preparing for another large-scale conflict, Earth had begun to broadcast a series of messages. Simple, calm, yet incredibly bold. The messages were directed at the entire galaxy, and each one contained the same clear message. Earth was not interested in peace, nor was it afraid of war. They were simply standing up for themselves, and if the galaxy didn't respect that, they would be ready to fight. The words were carefully chosen, not an angry declaration, but a cold reminder of what humanity was capable of. No one had seen this side of Earth before. The humans had always been portrayed as peaceful, cooperative members of the galactic community, never aggressive or forceful. But now, they had shown a side of themselves that was sharp, fierce, and unyielding. As the days went by, more and more alien factions began to question their positions. Was it worth engaging with Earth in a war they could never win? For centuries, the galaxy's races had remained the dominant force, but now, for the first time, Earth had proven that they could stand toe-to-toe with the greatest military powers in the universe. The very idea that a single human ship could defeat entire fleets shattered the galaxy's understanding of strength. Yet, not all races were willing to back down. Some were determined to make Earth bend to their will. The arrogance of the galaxy's most powerful factions ran deep, and they could not stand the idea of a new power rising from the ashes of the old. They continued to send threats, hoping to intimidate Earth into submission. But Earth's response was always the same: no retreat, no surrender. A new fear spread through the galaxy. This wasn't a simple show of force. Earth was planning something bigger, something that could challenge the entire galactic order. The battleship wasn't a one-off weapon. It was part of a new strategy, one that would shift the balance of power in the universe. The first signs of Earth's next move came when several smaller factions, who had been ignored for centuries, began to ally with Earth. They saw the power humanity had displayed, and they wanted to be a part of it. The galaxy had always ruled with an iron fist, but Earth was showing them that strength didn't always come from sheer numbers or overwhelming firepower. It came from unity, from standing up for what was right, no matter the cost. The alliances began to form quickly. Some alien races, tired of the constant wars and power struggles, looked to Earth as a symbol of hope. They believed that humanity's rise could bring about a new era, one of fairness and cooperation, rather than domination. With each new ally, Earth's power grew, and with it, the galaxy's fear. But even as alliances were made, The galaxy's most powerful empires refused to back down. They were prepared to fight to the bitter end, unwilling to let Earth rise without consequences. The stage was set for an all-out confrontation, but no one knew what the outcome would be. Earth's battleship had proven to be a devastating weapon, but there was still the unknown. What else had humanity been hiding? In the far reaches of space, as the galaxy held its breath, Earth's battleship remained in orbit, quiet, waiting, watching. It wasn't just a ship, it was a symbol of everything humanity had become. And now, the galaxy was about to learn the hardest lesson of all. Never underestimate the strength of a species that has been pushed to its limits. You said, the true fight was just beginning, and the galaxy had no idea how it would end. The galaxy was teetering on the edge of chaos. The words of Earth's leaders echoed across the cosmos, their chilling simplicity reverberating in the minds of every ruler. The message was clear. Earth was not afraid to fight, and it would no longer submit to the whims of the galaxy's powers. It was a warning, and it was felt everywhere. The question that had once been whispered in corridors of power, what will Earth do next, now hung in the air like a storm, waiting to break. In the capital of the Galactic Council, the tension was palpable. The members of the Council, the most powerful and influential species in the galaxy, were on edge. They had underestimated Earth, and now they were scrambling to reassess their strategies. Some leaders pushed for peace talks, desperate to avoid an all-out war, but others insisted on retaliation. How could they allow a single human ship to challenge their dominance? No, Earth had to be crushed before their influence spread any further. The factions with the most military power were already preparing for the next phase, an all-out assault on Earth's homeworld. The strategy was simple. Hit Earth hard, hit fast, and crush their morale. Earth had one ship, and even with its extraordinary capabilities, it couldn't face the might of the galaxy's fleets forever. It was a gamble, but it was the only option they saw. But Earth was not simply sitting idly by, waiting for the attack to come. The humans were working tirelessly, building up their defenses, but they were also preparing something far greater. Word began to spread that Earth was not relying solely on its battleship. Humanity was ready to unleash a new weapon, one that would change the very face of the galaxy. The ships of the Galactic Alliance, some of the most powerful the galaxy had ever seen, moved towards Earth's solar system, their engines glowing like stars in the dark expanse. Each one was a battleship in its own right, capable of wiping out entire worlds. Yet as they neared, something began to feel off. The silence was deafening. Not a single transmission came from Earth. No fleet was waiting at the border. The humans had disappeared. It was then, in the quiet moments before the storm, that Earth revealed its next move. As the first alien ship entered Earth's space, a massive, shadowy silhouette appeared from behind the moon. A second battleship, twice the size of the first. It wasn't just any ship. It was a fortress in the sky, built for one purpose: to destroy. The ship powered up with a thunderous hum, its weapon systems coming online in a display of deadly precision. The message was loud and clear. Earth was not just defending itself, it was going on the offensive. The alien fleets froze. They had assumed Earth's initial ship was a fluke, a weapon they could overpower with sheer numbers. But now, the galaxy's most feared warships faced something far more dangerous: human ingenuity and determination. The new ship moved with terrifying grace, far beyond the capabilities of anything the galaxy had ever seen. With a flash, the first salvo was fired, and the alien fleet's leading ship disintegrated in a blaze of light. There was no warning, no time to react. Panic swept through the alien ranks as their advanced shields faltered under the unprecedented firepower of Earth's new battleship. The humans were no longer hiding in the shadows. They were striking, and they were doing it with a fury that sent shockwaves through the galaxy. Earth's technology was not just advanced. It was unlike anything anyone had ever encountered. No alien force could have predicted this new threat. They had been expecting a fleet, But instead, they had faced a single human war machine that turned the tide of battle in an instant. As the battle raged on, the alien fleets found themselves caught in a deadly game. They couldn't fight Earth's ship in space, where it was far superior. They couldn't outrun it, and they couldn't overpower it. The galaxy's military leaders watched in horror as their once mighty fleets were reduced to burning wrecks. Back on Earth, the people were watching, but they were not celebrating. The victory was far from over. Each alien ship that fell only intensified the resolve of Earth's leaders. The battle for the galaxy had begun, and Earth would not back down. The galaxy had been warned, and now they would learn what it meant to provoke a species that had once been quiet, peaceful, and forgotten. The stakes were higher than ever. The galactic powers, now desperate and furious, sent reinforcements. The tide was turning, but Earth was determined to keep fighting, to prove to the galaxy that it had finally risen to its rightful place among the stars. Humanity had shown it could fight, and the rest of the galaxy had to understand. Earth was no longer a victim. Earth was a force to be reckoned with. As the second battleship tore through the alien fleets, a message came through to the Galactic Council, a simple, direct transmission that echoed across the universe. This is Earth. We are not afraid. We are not going anywhere. The galaxy belongs to all who respect it. But if you choose to stand against us, you will learn the true cost of defiance. The message was clear. Humanity had taken its place at the center of the galaxy, and it would not be moved. The war had begun in earnest, and there was no turning back. The galaxy was at a crossroads. Earth's battleships had decimated entire fleets, leaving only ruin in their wake. The galaxy's most powerful factions, once confident in their dominance, were now scrambling to find a way to stop the relentless human advance. They could no longer dismiss Earth as a backwater planet with no true military might. Humanity's sudden rise had shaken the foundations of galactic power, and the once unthinkable idea that a single species could alter the balance of power was now a terrifying reality. In the days following the destruction of the alien fleets, the galaxy had become a powder keg, each faction holding its breath, unsure of what would come next. The Galactic Council met in secret, its members divided between those calling for an immediate all-out war against Earth and those who sought a diplomatic resolution, however unlikely it seemed. Peace seemed distant, but the threat of total annihilation loomed closer with every passing hour. The galaxy's greatest minds were now focused on one thing: how to destroy Earth's battleships. However, Earth was not blind to the growing threat. In fact, they had anticipated it. As soon as the alien empires realized they could not defeat humanity in open combat, they resorted to their oldest tactics: covert operations, sabotage, and assassination. Human leaders and soldiers alike were targeted in hidden strikes across the galaxy. It seemed the fight had moved into a new phase, one in which the galaxy's enemies hoped to take down Earth's leadership before their might could be fully realized. But the human response was swift, and it was brutal. Earth's intelligence agencies, more advanced than anyone could have imagined, had already anticipated these tactics. The moment one of their ships was attacked, a counterstrike was launched, and within hours, the hidden enemy operatives found themselves hunted down, their positions exposed. Earth wasn't just fighting on the battlefield anymore. They were fighting in the shadows, tracking their enemies down one by one. The alien conspirators had underestimated humanity's resolve, and now they were paying the price. With each new victory, the human resolve only grew stronger. The message from Earth was clear. They had no intention of retreating, and they would not stop until they had secured their place in the galaxy. The alien factions were not only facing a formidable military opponent, but an enemy that was willing to fight in every way possible. As the war continued to escalate, the humans began to take a new approach. They launched a series of daring raids on the heart of enemy territory, striking at the very foundations of the galactic empires. These operations were swift, precise, and devastating. Entire star systems were thrown into disarray as the once proud fleets of the galactic powers found themselves fighting a battle they could not win. The human ships, built for speed and efficiency, slipped past their defenses, leaving only chaos in their wake. It was during one of these raids that humanity unveiled its most terrifying weapon yet. A new type of ship, smaller but more deadly than the battleships that had once dominated the skies, emerged from the darkness of space. It was a vessel that could cloak itself, slipping into enemy territory undetected. With its advanced technology, it could disable entire fleets without ever firing a shot. The galaxy had never seen anything like it, an invisible terror that could strike from within the shadows, leaving nothing behind but the remnants of a broken empire. The reaction from the galaxy was swift and violent. Panic spread like wildfire as the alien races realized that Earth had not only advanced beyond their technology, but had mastered the art of warfare in a way they had never imagined. The once mighty galactic empires were crumbling, one by one, unable to cope with the relentless assault from a species they had thought weak. But Earth was not finished yet. In a final bold move, the humans made a calculated decision. They would strike at the heart of the Galactic Council itself. The Council, the body that had long ruled over the galaxy, would now feel the full force of humanity's wrath. Earth's finest soldiers, backed by an entire fleet of battleships, prepared to assault the Council's capital, a heavily fortified world that had never known the threat of invasion. The attack was swift, precise, and merciless. The Galactic Council had underestimated humanity yet again, believing their defenses impenetrable. But Earth's forces were unlike any the galaxy had ever seen. Their ships tore through the defenses like paper, and within hours, the Council's stronghold was in ruins. The once proud leaders of the galaxy were left scrambling for survival, their empire crumbling around them. As the dust settled, a new message echoed across the galaxy. It was short, simple, and sent with the weight of 1,000 battleships. This is Earth. We will not be silenced. We will not be broken. The galaxy now understands that humanity has no fear. This is only the beginning. The stars had never felt so cold. The galaxy was no longer the same place it had been before. Earth had risen, and nothing would ever be the same again. The balance of power had shifted, and now, the galaxy trembled at the thought of what humanity would do next. The wars, the battles, the power struggles, none of it mattered anymore. The era of human domination had begun, and the rest of the galaxy had no choice but to recognize it. The galaxy was a different place now, forever altered by the rise of humanity. Earth had taken the fight to the very heart of the Galactic Empire, and the consequences were felt in every corner of the cosmos. Once proud alien nations, with their advanced technologies and vast fleets, were now reeling from the unrelenting power of Earth's war machines. No one had expected this. No one had anticipated that a single species, so recently emerging from their cradle on a small blue planet, would be capable of shaking the very foundation of the galaxy. Humanity's battleships were no longer just weapons of war. They were symbols of defiance, the banner under which Earth had declared its place among the stars. But as the flames of battle faded, the true question remained: what would Earth do next? Would they continue their relentless assault, or would they seek to secure peace in the aftermath of their victory? The galactic empires, devastated by the loss of countless fleets and strongholds, were left with a difficult choice. Some leaders, battered and broken, sought peace, hoping that humanity would show mercy and allow them to rebuild. Others, still fueled by pride and anger, refused to acknowledge Earth's dominance and instead called for vengeance. But there was a new fear in their eyes, a fear of the humans who had shown they were willing to sacrifice everything to secure their place in the galaxy. Earth's leaders, though triumphant, knew they had to proceed carefully. The victory had been hard-earned, and the galaxy was not one to forgive quickly. But Earth's message had been sent loud and clear. Humanity would not be pushed around. They were not here to be controlled, to be another piece in the grand game of galactic politics. No, Earth had its own destiny now, and it would fight for it, no matter the cost. Humanity's next move was unexpected. They did not simply retreat to their homeworld, waiting for the galaxy to decide its fate. Instead, they took their victory and used it to create something new. Earth's influence spread outward, not through more battles or destruction, but through alliances. Earth offered peace to those who sought it, but it was a peace that came with a price. The once invincible alien empires had no choice but to negotiate. They had no choice but to accept that Earth was now a force to be reckoned with. But even as they began to build alliances and forge new relationships, Earth remained vigilant. They knew that peace was fragile, that there would always be those who wanted to test their strength. So Earth continued to expand its military might, building new ships, new weapons, and new strategies. They prepared for whatever came next, knowing that the galaxy was not going to forget the power they had witnessed. The balance of power had shifted, and the old rulers of the galaxy, once untouchable in their arrogance, now found themselves at the mercy of a single planet. Their fleets, their armies, and their weapons, once seen as invincible, were no match for the ingenuity and determination of Earth. The once great empires had been humbled, and now humanity held the reins of power. As Earth's influence grew, so did the whispers of its greatness. The galaxy had been forced to acknowledge Earth's strength, but more than that, they had to acknowledge humanity's spirit. Earth had been tested in ways no one could have imagined, and in the end, it was not just their ships or weapons that won the day, it was their unyielding will. The galaxy now knew that when Earth's back was against the wall, there was nothing that could stop them. But this was only the beginning. Humanity had proven itself, but the road ahead was long and uncertain. The galaxy would not forget the price of defying Earth, nor would it forget the lessons learned in the fires of war. Humanity had emerged victorious, but the story was far from over. With their battleships in the sky and their resolve as unbreakable as ever, Earth stood at the threshold of an empire that would forever change the course of galactic history. And as Earth's message echoed across the stars once more, louder, clearer, and stronger than ever, one truth was undeniable. When Earth's battleship emerged, the galaxy trembled in terror. But now, they had no choice but to kneel before humanity's strength, for the galaxy had learned the hard way. Earth was not just a planet, it was a force. And no one would ever forget the name of Earth again.